Shambho Mahadeva. Serenity. We were discussing about the consciousness being locked up and conscious being in different levels of experiences gets entangled with those experiences and is unable to relate with the true absolute consciousness. Unless one is related with the true absolute consciousness, the Brahman cannot be identified, or the true nature of the self cannot be identified, cannot be revealed. Thereby, one remains always in the status of illusion and hallucinations. And the term used for that is Jagat Mithya. And one believes they are the truths. A false notion of identification and understanding of the truth is totally misconstrued by these false experiences, locking the consciousness in different levels, not even trying to identify and reveal the truth and the necessity of it. Maharshi says here in the next paragraph, another startling remark is made by the Upanishad when it says that all these people who have passed away from this world, those who are born and who are not born, those who have come and those who have gone to other worlds, are in our hearts. They are not outside somewhere. We carry them with our own hearts. In the ether of our consciousness. It has been said earlier that whatever is outside is also inside. So there is nothing there outside which is not inside. When there is nothing outside which is not there in inside, means everything is in inside only. That what we are thinking is that what we are seeing. That what we are knowing is that what we are seeing. We cannot see something which is unknown. Yes. So, whatever in these various levels, which we call it as various lokas or realm of being, in the so-called external universe is present in our own hearts. They can be invoked from within our own selves by the strength of mind. This cannot be done ordinarily on account of the untruth of the bodily attachment and externality consciousness interfering with the truth of the universality of experience. This knowledge can be invoked from within us. That's why it is known as invoking this, not outvoking. Invocation is invoking. That what is there inside is being revealed churned and revealed is called invocation. Vocalizing it. Vocation. It's also Vangmaya, brings into the Vangmaya, brings into the Vak, Vani. Vani is not the word or sentence or something, Vani is Shabdam. Nothing other than that. So, bringing it in the world of the Shabda, that what is inside, in the form of the consciousness, in the form of secret, in the form of picturization that is there inside, these are brought into the Shabda Loka. It's called invoking, is it? Invocation. That's why Avahana, is it? Avahana is also, it is from inside, It's not Avahana from some other world to here, you see. It's from here, it's from within. It's called Avahana. So it's also invocation. This is also known as invocation. Avahana. So this invocation, normal people are unable to do it. That's why they are not in a position to experience those who are dead, those who are not born, those who are born, those who were there, according to us, those who were there and who are there. As far as the term after invocation is concerned, as I told you, there are no three worlds or three status of past, present and future. Bhuta, Vartamana, Bhavi is not at all effective for the persons who have the capacity of invoking those realities, the consciousness from within, so that which was there in millions of years or millions of times there is no time actually. The time and space concept itself is lost there. There is no time. There are no yugas, there are no times, there is nothing like that. They are all in front, they are all known. Now imagine that everything in this universe, everything that has happened according to us, that is happening, and all those knowing, what is the condition then? That cannot be known when you have. Why we are unable to know this experience, this untruth? Because of the interference of the externality consciousness of body attachment, or body-mind experience, is the reason why we are not able to understand it. This has been classified even in the previous class. When the consciousness is locked up in a particular layer, the other layer cannot be seen. So this consciousness is particularly locked in the body consciousness and the consciousness of externalities, objective experiences. So long the consciousness is busy with that and not able to come out of it, and one is not even trying to understand that there is a status which is beyond that what we call it as present. There is a status which we call it as beyond this consciousness, this waking state or this consciousness. If that awareness itself is not there, how one goes? These have to be acquired through experiences, life experiences. Janma, Janmantara, it happens one way. Second way is that coming in contact with the knowledgeable, at least understand that yes, there is something. So one has to try for it. So that this invocation process, instead of waiting for a natural process to take place and then evolution to take place, you prepare yourself, make yourself understand through the jnanam, and the revelation takes place. As Ratnakar could understand the simplicity of the spirituality, simplicity of the truth, by one sentence of the Maharishi, he took into tapasya and revealed, invoked his real self. One sentence, one instance, one incident changed his status. Being a robber, he became a tapasvi, he became a Maharishi, he became a jnani, he became a Brahmajnani. But I'm trying to tell that one should not have an excuse, oh, because it was that, oh, no, this evolution has to take gradually. Like Ganga flowing from Gangotri to the Mahasamudra. So much of time and distance have to be passed, then only I can reach Samudra. It is not necessary. One should be in a position to attain that. That is why the God has created, or the creation, let me not call it as that. Let me call it as the creation of human being is there, so that he can utilize the faculty of the brain and the indriyas and the antakarana and other faculties that has been provided to him in order to attain the process of invocation in the right process, so that this consciousness, the true consciousness or the absolute consciousness, can be attained. That's why it is known as absolute consciousness. The absoluteness of the consciousness is absolute consciousness. The absoluteness of the consciousness, is it not? It's not that some other status. It's a status. Absolute is a status. So the absoluteness of the consciousness can be attained through jnanam. That is why Bhagavan has given so much of importance in Bhagavad Gita about the jnana marga. All the advices, what for? For jnanam, attainment of jnanam. An ignorant person will always think that, oh, my great grandfather has died, grandfather has died, father has died, child is not yet born. So, these concepts will remain in him, that's all. And keep on doing Shraddha only. So he says, the great obstacle to the perception of the things that are there in the whole universe is the locking up of the consciousness in a particular body. It is imprisoned in a particular individuality, Jivatvam or Jivatma. Jivatvam, we called it as Jivatma. Jivatvam. There is no Jivatma. Atma is only one. Atma is Brahman on one side, we say. Another side, we say Jivatma. The Atma in the Jiva. It's a classification only the ignorance has made. But yes, but that is necessary. Having come to that status, in order to identify the status beyond that, which is the absolute truth, one has to travel back, and it is not possible to jump to the truth of reality all of a sudden. So one has to climb the ladder gradually, step by step. So these bifurcations and the words and the statuses have been created for people to make it easier from traveling from this Dvaita Siddhanta to Advaita Siddhanta. What is Advaita Siddhanta? Now, is it clear what is Dvaitam and Advaitam? Dvaitam is not that I'm thinking of Anekam, not thinking of two or not one. Dvaitam, Dvaitam. Dvaitam is two. Dvaitam, that which is not two. Advaita is that which is not two. There cannot be same or similar one beyond that is called Atman, that's all. This is Advaitam. Advaitam is not one. Advaitam is not one. Advaitam is that not many. There is difference. Not many is not one. Not many means I do not know whether it is one. Yes? Dvaita. It is not many, that much I know. Then what it is? If there is no many, you must understand the Vedic science, which is absolutely wonderful and great, You have to 1,000 times do pranams to that. How beautiful it is. Why it is Advaita? Why he has not said Ekam and Anekam? Very simple. Ekam and Anekam. He has not told that. He said Advaita and Dvaita, he said. Why? Beautiful it is. Yeah, you know that? I don't know. It is so great when you think about it. You see, when there is no anekam, there cannot be ekam. Where is this anekam come from? Ana eka, ananta eka, 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 aneka. Is it not? When aneka is not there, where is eka? Is why, Dvaita. When Dvaita is not there, what is there? Advaita is not one. If it is one, again it is Dvaita. That is why I said it's I don't know, I feel so happy about it. I mean, so grateful to know that, you see. The meaning of that, you see. It is not Advaitam is one. It is not many. When many is not there, one is not there. Yes, that is same thing will be repeated in all that, then only we will understand what is the truth we are gradually coming to. When mortality is not there, there is no immortality. Mrityu is not there, Janana is not there, mortality is not there, immortality is also not there. Untruth is not there, truth is not there. You understand? In this system, when there is untruth, that what is left behind is called what? In simple words, we used to tell earlier initial stages of the Upanishad, we used to talk, if there is no night, will you call the day as day? Used to be a question. What will you call? You will not call anything because there is no necessity of calling, because that is only there. If that alone is there, because there is night, I am calling day as day, or because day is there, I am calling night as night, whatever you call it. It's okay. So when Dvaita is not there, what is called the other? What is left out? Dvaita. How can I specify it is one? How can I say day? How can I say days? All same only, no? So how can I say which day? Everything is same. When time and space is not related to this, that's what it is beautiful. That's why when that Advaita, that's why I said Advaita. So when that is not there, what? That consciousness of the body consciousness is not there. When the consciousness is locked up in Jivatma, that's from where it started all. No? So Jivatma. If Jivatma is not there, what is there? Atma is there. What is Atma? Brahman. That's all. Now what is the bifurcation of Brahman? How can I define Brahman in different names? There's no paryaya to that. There's no way. There are no Dvaita in that. See, it's not possible. So that's why this is how gradually we have to understand. It's not possible to, in the beginning stage itself, if somebody says everything is Brahman, very difficult to perceive it. Even now it is perceived. After knowing all these things, even now it is difficult to perceive. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahmam. So Jivatva. So when it is locked up in Jivatva, when the identity has come, identification have come, not only in the Jivatva, here it is at least Jivatva, Jiva, whichever has got Jiva, it's all Jivatva, or Brahman entrapped there, or the consciousness is trapped there. And in that also, individuality has come. Each and every small unit has come. In each and every unit we said that is separate. The Brahma, Atma in that is separate. So he said, my soul, my Atma, my consciousness, my prana, What is my prana? Have you got any control over my prana? Can you identify prana first of all? Can you recognize prana first of all? Can you see prana first of all? Can you control the prana according to your wish? Let it come in and let it go out. That also is not there. Still, I impose an ownership of that. My prana, my Atma, his Atma, my soul. When the spelling changes, this can be yours, that can be yours. Okay. This can be there. Eh? Not the other one. Yes. My soul. So never say my soul. My soul means this only. My soul is only this, nothing other than that. Yes. So this jnanam, unlocking that consciousness which is entrapped into the jnanam of my soul is this inside me. If I know the jnanam, what happens? This is not true. Advaita, that is not there. That's not the soul. Then the soul is there. If it is not here, where is it? All over. This realization is called unlocking the consciousness from one status to another statuses. That means entrapping it into the body consciousness to releasing it to absoluteness. When I don't define it as mine, it is only consciousness. If I tell my consciousness, then only the contradiction comes, the individuality comes, the untruth interferes with the truth. When that happens, then we call it as imprisonment of the soul in the individuality. The imprisonment is only nothing other than, what is a prison? A prison is also the same space where others are living, only thing barricaded to certain area in the same space of the world. It has not been brought from somewhere else. Yes, the prison is that. The prison is the consciousness again, that I am entrapped in my body, I am entrapped in my activities, I am entrapped in my individuality, I am that, I am this. So that is the great, according to Maharishi, that is the great obstacle in us to release ourselves from the untruth referred to here. It is something that is not really there, but which one experiences by habit and by repeated application of oneself to the type of experience which falsely goes by the name of reality, to the exclusion of every other possibility or experience. Yeah, that's all. One defines the area of consciousness and gets stuck by that. In the dream, we see that our legs and hands are tied up, unable to move. And we literally become stiff, physically we become stiff. Then shout for help. Release the rope from me. Release that has been tied to me. Where is the rope? Who has tied it? Whom has been tied? Everything is there in the imagination. Hallucination. When you wake up from the dream, then you realize that whatever has been seen are all hallucinations. But you feel a stiffness in the body. The rope is there and everything was fact. Everything is tied up. Everything is fact. Now when you wake up from the dream, so that's why when you are entrapped into the body consciousness, that whatever is happening to the body alone is the truth. The moment you come out of that body consciousness into the true consciousness, looking at it, you will find foolish. Absolute foolish. There is no death, there is no birth. They are only perceptions, that's all. They are because of the body consciousness. Unless we come to that absoluteness, when we come to absoluteness, we find that there are no deaths and there are no births. Jivatma is taking positions, Atma taking positions in order to have the evolutions and evolutions, that's all. Whenever there is consciousness, a contemplation of the consciousness keep on going, and the sparks from the consciousness keep on falling. See? And those sparks can go, the more it goes far away from the reality, it takes time to come back to the reality because it falls somewhere else. Suppose there is a waterfall. You stand 10 feet away. The sparks from that falls on you. The drops falls on you. Those drops which has fallen on you doesn't go back to the waterfall. Why? It is because it is far away from that. It is far away from that, so it has fallen somewhere else. Now this drop, to go back to that fall, will take a lot of time. This drop has to get evaporated, then goes as a cloud, then it has to rain, then it has to accumulate as water there, then it will again become a part of the fall. It will have to go to the fall only. You understand? This is what is like. The one who is away from that, that's what we said about 2-3 chapters before, 2-3 sections before. The one who is away from the center of the heart, I said, remember? The consciousness. One is away from the center of the heart, from where I described about the relationship, friend, object and things like that. When we come out of that, it's not that that is going out. When we are entangled in this memory, that memory is lost. Yeah? It's all I have explained earlier. Same thing. When that, because it is in the consciousness, the highest consciousness, the absolute consciousness is always, is always looking for innovation from that. Contemplating, keeps on contemplating. Bhagavan keeps on contemplating. From that, so many jnanams, because it's all created by the jnanam. The jnanam keeps on flowing. Yes. When I say physically, it is going on like that. Naturally, because of the momentum, the droplets, it has its own jnanam. What is that? It is also full of jnanam. It is Atma. It is full of jnanam. Having fallen on the body, having fallen on XYZ, it has adapted the facility and feasibility of that objective entrapment in that. And to come back to its own reality, it takes a lot of, it has to undergo the experiences of evaporation process and condensation process. Same way we have to evaporate and condensate ourselves. It's called tapa, tapasya, tapa. It's called upasana. It's called dhyasana. Through that evaporation process. It's called evaporation process. Evaporating that what is the form and shape has to be evaporated. Body consciousness has to be left. That's all. Subject is clear means all examples can put in there. So now it's clear. How is it? Is there a Jivatma? There is no Jivatma. There is only Atma. Jivas are only those sparkles which come out of it for the process of experience of evolution. It goes back. If this has got a momentum, and this spark which has come out has got a momentum, and if it goes back to that with the momentum immediately, and it is a part of that again. Otherwise, it takes an individuality when it goes off from that. Thus, those people who have passed away cannot be seen. Those who are not born also cannot be seen. But those who are not born also still exist somewhere. There is nothing new happening in this universe. There is nothing new. If the death is not there, if the birth, that which is, according to Upanishad says, Bhagavan Maharishi says, that which is to be born is also existing in the atmosphere. In it, only thing, one tail has to be added to that. What is that? In a different form, that's all. That's where the catch is. In a different form. But it is existing there. If it is not existing, how it can be, how it is possible to be present? If it is not existing, how it can come? Yes. It cannot come. The birth can be scientifically processed in many ways, starting from only from human. That's all. Beyond that, one cannot explain it. Scientifically, the medical science cannot. From the human, from the man, from the sperm, from the, and how the evolution takes place, how the Garbhadarana takes place, how the Garbha is grown, how the birth is taken place, how the child is grown, cells are multiplied. No, that can be done. Where has it come from? Where was this child? Was it there? It was in a different shape. Now he is a child. Some months back, 9 months back, it was in a different form. And 18 months back, it was in a different form. So 2 years back, it was in a different form. 200 years back, it was in a different form. 2 million years ago, it was in a different form. It was there. Where has this sperm come from? From the human. Where is this human come from? Now, if you keep on calculating like that, was it existing or not? Only thing, it was in a different form. So the one who is conscious, who has got the absolute consciousness, he identifies which form and shape will be there at different times. Easy. You yourself has got this much of knowledge. When the mango tree flowers, he says that now it is time for mangoes to come. Okay? You are saying? Because it is flowered. Now this flower has to convert into, there is no similarity between the fruit and the flower, is it not? But you said, so many mangoes will be there in this mango tree. Say approximately 500 mangoes we will get. It's looking at the flower. How did you say? The same thing can be told. How many children will be born tomorrow, or after 1 year, or after 200 years? Right or not? If it can happen in this way, can it not happen there? Only thing what happened, the consciousness that you have, the knowledge or you have, the jnanam you have only limited to the experiences that you have undergone because you have seen the flower becoming the fruit. Since you have seen the flower becoming the fruit, you have predicted the flower can become the fruit, and it is definite. Tapasvi, Jnani, a Maharishi, who is a Brahmajnani, he has seen this evolving for a number of millions of years. Can he not predict it? Who will go, who will come, everything is no. Yes. What will go? There's no question of who. What will go, what will come is all known. To that is what the truth. This is the secret of that, you see. Yes. So those who are not born is also still existing. So there is nothing happening in this world new. They are all happening this way. Yeah? You keep the flask like this, the shape is like this. Keep the flask like this. This is all what you are doing in the universe, that's all. Sometimes you keep it like this, sometimes the fashion is that goes up, sometimes the fashion comes down. Clothes. When there is nothing left out, then bring the old one again back with a similar modification. The same cloth, same style, same. You have to wear it somehow or other. The body has to be there, hand has to be there, sleeve has to be there. Only thing, we are changing the shapes and forms. This is identified by the Maharishis and Tapasvis and great Jnanis. Brahma Jnanis, for them, there is no space and time, there is no Samaya Kala. When the Samaya and Kala Atitam, he travels, he has gone already beyond the Samaya and Kala. He is in a position to visualize and see that what is born, what we call as death and birth, for him that is not at all there. It's all the process of evolution, like the water keeps on falling, one drop has fallen and again gone back, another drop has fallen, gone back, another drop has fallen and gone back. That's all. What's the name for the drop which has come out of it? Drop. What is that? Evaporated? Evaporated. What has been fallen on this one? Has fallen on that. Is there any name? There's nothing. For him, it's all drops. Everything is a drop of water for him, is it not? Same way, for him, everything is that evolution. Something is born in the human shape, something is born an animal, something is born as a tree and plant, something is born like that. Some incident happens, some this thing happens, some machine is flying, some machine is going on the road, some machine is flying, some machine is going on the water. Everything is there and it can be seen. And it is seen, it's only the shapes and form changes. Tapasvi, Jnani can identify everything. Everything can be seen. So there is, what I am trying to tell you is that from this, there is nothing new happening. Everything is existing. That's why we call it as existence. Everything comes from that existence only. Only thing, different shapes and forms. We say this with the reference to a distance that appears to exist between ourselves and those unborn ones, as if they are outside us. When it is outside us, there is time lag. When there is a time lag, there is a space. When there is a space, then only there is a time lag. When there is a time lag, we call it as outside. That which cannot be understood by the realized by the consciousness which is locked in the body consciousness, we call it is later or before. The Bhuta or Bhavi, that which is dead and born, whatever term you use for that, it's all the same. Why? Because you are entrapped in this consciousness. As far as this idea is not perceived in this consciousness, so for this consciousness, the experience is that which is not happening now, that which is happening later, that which has already happened, because it is trapped in this experience alone. So what is necessary? That one has to overcome the status of entrapped consciousness into the freedom. That's why Swatantrata, I called it. In order to have Swatantrata, what is Swatantrata? Independence. It is not dependence from others, from other things and other objects, or other people, other countries, other this, other that. Nothing external to you. If you come out of them, you don't become independent. You become independent only when you realize the consciousness, the absolute consciousness, and come out of the body-mind consciousness. Then you become real Swatantram. Swatantrata. The Swayam has to be, this as I have already, earlier also I have explained, that Swatantrata is that, from ourselves one has to get freedom from ourselves. That's called real freedom. That's called Swatantrata. But still it appears to interfere with our experience on account of why we are not having that experience. It is because on account of body consciousness, individuality and egoism, ahankaram, misconception of the aham is ahankara, misconception of the I-ness, misconception of the individuality. How wonderful they have explained in the Puranas. Even though people don't understand, they go and listen to Bhagavatam, Mahabharatam, listen to the stories and enjoy and eat idlis and come back. Instead, they should understand is Narayana. And they said, everybody says Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. Narayana is no one shape and form lying down on the Ananta on top of water. The real meaning of Narayana is that Naraha, Ayana is Narayana, that which contains Nara. That Nara has got different meanings, hundreds of meanings. Puddles of water put together. Puddles of water put together is also Nara. Puddles, the number of rivers put together is also Nara. So there is no Vishnu sleeping on the water is only a concept because it is, the Nara has become, the word, puddles of water was there. The meaning was there. It is not that he is sleeping alone only on the, the Nara is there only among the water. When it is puddles of water, which was meant by here some water, here there some water, there some water, there some water. That which is connecting all this means including the ground. How can it be separate from this? Including all the ground. The one who controls Ayanaha, the one who controls all this is called Narayana, that Shakti. There is no shape and form. Narayana. So from Narayana, due to the evolution that is taken, as I told you, the consciousness keep on contemplating. From that Nara, that Ayana, that which is controlling the, that power, that energy or that vibration which was controlling all the universe, when that evolution was taking place or the contemplation was taking place, from there, Naro Rishahi, a rishi called Nara has come out. This is one droplet. What is that again? I have explained to you about the waterfall. The droplet with the same consciousness has fallen out. They called him as Rishi Nara. Since it has come from Rishi Nara, who is Nara? Nara is again Lord. Okay, Krishna, we call it Bhagavan, Vishnu. Nara is that when the droplet has come from there, they call it as the Rishi Nara. Rishi is that Rishayate, the one who is above all the jnanam, which is in the absolute consciousness. This droplet which has come from the Nara is Nara. From Nara which has come out, it has become Nara. It has got the same qualities of Nara. The droplet which has come out from the waterfall has got the same qualities of the waterfall. Is there any difference? The spark which has come out from the same fire has got the same qualities of fire. Is there any difference? No. This is Nara. Now, having this come out in a particular time, era or time according to our calculations, this Nara, from Nara, the Nara has come. That Nara, the Rishi, is the one who has become Arjuna in Mahabharata story. You understand? That's a connection between they also tell in Mahabharata also says that, Bhagavan says that you were with me in the previous Janma. We were together for long years. There are certain things which has to be completed by us in order to do this. But you do not remember, hey Arjuna, you do not remember. But I can see it, he says. Bhagavan says to Arjuna, what is it? This is it. This, you are the droplet. I being the stream of waterfall, I can see that my droplet is the one which is falling down there. But you cannot identify me because you have the consciousness of that droplet. You have entrapped your consciousness into the periphery and parameter of the droplet. You are unable to think about the waterfall, you becoming the waterfall. How can you become the waterfall? You are only tiny. You are seeing even though you are seeing that, so you do not know how to come back to that. Have you realized that you have come from me? Then it would have been easier for you to come back. You always thought you are independent from me. Is why the Nara Rishi has become Arjuna in order to experience it. He is only one. They are one only. It's an explanation, but who explains and who understands? How many? There are so many people who understand. It's not that great people. But how do we know? What is the principle behind? Principle is that, so Arjuna is not different from Vishnu. Vishnu is not, it's only a name that you have created in order to identify that Shakti, the power which is connecting the universe in order to have what is the meaning that? Number of puddles of water around and in between ground, in order to create the samatva, in order to equanimity in it, in order to have the balance in it, in order to have the balance of these together, they said, the one who is lying on all these waters, he is known as Vishnu. When he is lying on all these waters, the ground also has come, Bhumi also comes on that. You understand what's the principle? In principle, so when you understand the Vedanta, you clearly understand it. But in the form of story, we personify each and every activity. Yeah. We personify. How we personify? We say that so and so, Mr. So and so, Sharma ji, is a drunkard. If he has to be a drunkard, he should be drinking all the 365 days from morning till evening, or till he is conscious. He is not that. He takes alcohol beyond certain limit, he is called drunkard. But he is not that. You see that? You have identified him as so and so. He is a thief. He takes maybe once in a month only, he gets an opportunity to steal something. He has been stabbed as thief because he was caught. So we identify them as this. So same way we identified Vishnu also, same way. It's a personification of certain activities. What happened? You have personified Sharma as a drunkard. No? You see that? He's not that. He's associated with many other activities, many other qualifications, many other qualities. You understand how the consciousness gets locked to what I'm talking about? How you identify that? So and so. It's because of the certain only one activity, you identified them with the one activity. Same way God also has been identified only with one activity. This is called entrapment of consciousness. That's why you have to come out of it. You cannot classify, personify things like that. Personifying is because of the individuality and egoism. This is called egoism. Egoism means ahamkara. Then that ahamkara, who to be called as aham, since you do not know it, each and everything is an aham. So the body. So this is what Maharshi said. Now in this Athaye, this is second shloka in 8.3.2. Athaye charasyeha जीवाये च प्रेता यच्चान्यदिच्छत्प्रः लभते सर्वं तदत्र गत्वा विन्दतेऽत्र ह्यस्यैते सत्याः कामा अनूताभिधानां थानास्तद्यत्थाभिः हिरण्यपनिधिं मेदमश्चेत्रज्ञानाम् अपरिपारी संचरन्ते न विन्दे दुरे स्वसुन्दे दुरेवमेव मेमा सर्वाः प्रज्ञाः अहरहर्गच्छन्य एवं ब्रह्मलोकं न विन्दयत्य अनृतेन हि प्रत्यूढाः. Again, those individuals belonging to him, Yacheri, Nitija, if only one were to dive into the ocean of one's own heart, if you are capable of diving into your own heart, means here, Atma. In Upanishad, here in Chhandogya Upanishad, in this chapter, heart means Atma. If one's own heart, one would see there everything that one cannot even dream of in one's mind. All those who have died since ages, millions and millions of years ago, all those who have not yet born, being at all but are to manifest themselves now or in the ages to come, all these forms are capable of being perceived in one's own heart. Hridya, Hridaya. Bhagavan is explaining the heart is how the heart is Atma in next paragraph. On account of this, everything seems to be scattered hither and thither, as if one thing has no connection with the other thing, while really in the heart of all things can be discovered the treasure of the whole universe, wherein you find the entire population of the cosmos right from the time of the creation till the time of dissolution can be seen. Is what is, Bhagavan says. Absolutely right. When those people, that's what I told you, Maharishis could predict. When the avatar of Rama was there, there will be another avatar of Krishna. Ahalya Shapa, when Gautama Maharishi, when he cursed Ahalya, he said after so many years, from such and such Suryavanshi, one Raja named as Ram, he told, one will come here, he will step on you, he will put his feet on you, then you will become Ahalya, has been told. We thought it's all fantasy stories, as if bedtime stories. How is it possible? Absolutely fact. He knows. when he did the curse, he knew that what is the remedy of the curse. That is the beauty of the Maharshi, because they are jnanis. When they curse, they have the remedy already ready. Then only they curse. Curse means, again, we call it as curse. They are also blessings. I told you about this. Curse is also a blessing. But we feel body, physical, mental difficulties on that, so we consider it as curse. But it's not curse. It's for the purpose of the transformation. So yes, I'm just telling you about the seeing. That's only for that example I said that. So Maharshi Gautama could see that he will come. Why do you worry? It's okay. This is only for that period for him it's a small period of time. You go into tapasya, the status of absolute stone. Stone means not physical stone, even though it is appeared to us, it's physical. You go into deep meditation of yourself in order to release from there, because you have done something out of ignorance. Now, in order to come out of that ignorance, you have to go into the absolute consciousness. It is very true. Many people, there's a big discussion on that. Is it right that what Maharshi Gautama did? Is it Ahalya's mistake or is it Indra's mistake? Who in disguise came? How crime has been done by so and so Indra? How can Ahalya be punished for that? It's all sorts of questions. One answer. Had Ahalya been in his absolute consciousness, being with Maharshi Gautama, who is a great tapasvi, who is a great jnani, who is a great man who has Satrikaldarshi, who has great powers. So, Ahalya should be more or less in that status of in the same level of status, then only she will be in a position to identify Gautama Maharshi. She could not identify the absolute brightness, brilliant light of, or brilliance of the power, Shakti, and the brilliance of the Maharishi's powers. She could not identify, even though the culprit was someone else. But then the curse was given to her, not even to Indra, of course, but she was involved. Why the curse was given to her was why she could not come out of that entrapped consciousness of the body consciousness. Had she come out of the body consciousness, she would have easily identified everything. This was a mistake. So to be with the highest, so now, then why curse? Then you should walk off and go away. No, that's not the right purpose. That's not a saint's job. The saint is there to rectify it. In order to rectify that, what happens? Ahalya has to come to the level of that highest consciousness of the Maharshi Gautama. Then only she can be a Saha Dharmani. What's Saha Dharmani? The one who does the karya is Dharmam. The one who associated with the Dharmam for acquiring the Dharmam is called Saha Dharmani. I told you about Bhagavan Shiva and Parvati. Saha Dharmani means the one who does the Dharma. Otherwise it's not Saha Dharma. Otherwise it's not Saha Dharma. Saha Dharmam is this. Saha Dharmam has to be maintained. Being Gautama, being the greatest Maharshi and Tapasyan, have a place among the gods. Who is Satrikaldarshi also, who is great Tapasvi. So in order to be with him, in order to attain that Saha Dharma process of it, even if he keeps her as it is, it's of no use. She cannot be a Saha Dharmani. So what happened? Since he has identified her body consciousness her consciousness is trapped into the body, has not come out of it. There is no use for me as the highest form of consciousness. So in order to make that consciousness one with the universal consciousness, this curse means that is a lesson, teachings. It's not a curse, teachings. What is the teaching? Teaching is that you go into absolute the upasana is called making a stone. An absolute upasana is nididhyasak, and you will be woken up from that attainment of consciousness by the Lord Himself, by the superior power. When it touches you, automatically your consciousness get awakened, and you will be equivalent to me, and then you will come and join me. Ahalya after that joins, according to story, Ahalya joins Gautama Rishi after that. Then only she becomes eligible. She, here it is she and he. Whereas it is like the same as the highest absolute consciousness and the entrapped individual egoistic consciousness. That's all. The droplet, I already told you this. From the waterfall, the droplet has come away. It doesn't know how to go back. So the Maharishi or the waterfall says, you don't worry, you stay there. Now, there is no way that you can come back immediately to me. Is what the Maharishi also said. There's no way you can join me. How can you join? Do tapasya, you will get evaporated, then you will condensate it, and again, when you become my form, my consciousness, or similar to this consciousness, you will join me again. Is what Gautama told Ahalya. Is there anything wrong? All discussions gone, finished. Is it a papa? Is it a punya? Is it a crime? Is it this? Is it that? All questions are answered in that. How beautiful it is. Huh? If we understand this, there is no individuality, grievance, neither he is angry, nor he is happy, nor he is unhappy, nor he is, even for, nothing like that. It's an evolution, process of evolution, that's all, nothing other than that. Is he angry? No. How can he be angry? How can a great personality be angry? That emotion can never come. Then what we see, because we have identification of anger, so we identify it as anger. How can a great jnani get angry? Impossible. The appearance of anger in him is your emotion that is being. It's only a correction that is being done, projected. When a child is told to do homework, he says, what teacher? This is absolute rubbish teacher. He doesn't want to do homework. It's not teacher's mistake. What teacher wants? Teacher wants he goes home and at least spend some time to study and come back as a knowledgeable person tomorrow. Is what teacher wants and gives homework. But the student doesn't like it. So what happens? Oh, that teacher is very bad. Gussa. Where is the anger? Where is the curse? Is it a curse? No. But we identify it as a curse, is it not? Because you are entrapped into that layer of experience. Very clear, is it? No. What is Atma? What is this? No. So that all those who have died since ages, we have read about it, but in this world this is not experienced because this is a world of physically and intense bodily awareness. On account of this, everything seems to be scattered. Okay. An example is given in the Upanishad here. It says that there is so much of treasure underground. Or let us presume somebody has hidden so much of treasure under the ground and covered it. Number of janmas, number of ages, number of yugas, people keep on walking on top of it. Nobody knows there is treasure below that. See? Unless one unearths that, then only who knows why. Because even though you are walking on the treasure, you are not identifying the treasure. Why? You are entrapped into your consciousness is entrapped in your body consciousness. So you are not aware of the environments. Even if there is a treasure there, you don't identify. is what an explanation, an example given here. We stumble upon the treasure every day. We fall upon the truth and contact everything, everywhere, in all our experiences, past, present, future, throughout the various incarnations we take, but we cannot know that we are coming in contact with that. It's possible. Still there. We keep on doing it without knowing what is there inside. Thus, we ourselves do not know what we contain in ourselves. It's impossible to know. This great treasure by projection of mind onwardly, because it is seated within the heart of things, that means in the Atma. It's not external, as a matter of fact. In search we make externally. That's obstacle in knowing that which is within oneself. Things do not exist in the externals. We have already discussed about the external and internal. In the third shloka, Bhagavan says, Taime satya kamaha anudapidanam asanyeshaha satyana stam anupam apitrayam to yo hareta priti na tamiha darshanaya labade. We are not able to see what is there, no saya. So what is that Satyam? So he is telling about the Satyam, or I told you about that, what is telling about the Hridayam. Sava. Sava Esa Atma Hridi. Sava Eva Atma Hridi. Hridi is the Atma. Sava Esa Atma Hridi. Atma is the Hridaya, Hridi. So Sava Esa Atma Hridi. How? Tassedatyeva Niruktam. That which is against is Niruktam. Against what? Hridya Ayam Iti. The one which is Hridya Ayam, opposite to Hridya Ayam Iti, is Niruktam. Then what is Satyam? Tasmat Hridayam. Tasmat Hridayam is the Hridayam. Tasmat Hridayam is Hridayam. Ahar, ahar, va, evam vit, swargam, lokam, etit. What is the Satyam here? Now he says that what is Satyam? Upanishads are very fond of these kinds of etymological extractions of meanings of certain words, giving the significance of the words. As I said, Hridaya means heart. It's a Sanskrit word of the Upanishad. Now explains why the heart is called Hridaya. Here inside he is called Hridayam. Here inside he. Tasmat Hridyam is Hridyam is. This means to say, truth is inside you is called. It's the abode of that which is, therefore, it's also called Hridaya. So the one who knows that one's heart is the abode of the truth attains the highest heavens in the experience. So he explains about the same thing. We have already explained certain things on that. As I told you, when the Satya is there, Asatya is there. That's why he said Anrutam is also there. Tasyadit eva niruktam hridaya evam. Now, in the fourth shloka, Bhagavan explains Ataya esa samprasado simah chararita chasyeha jiva. Sorry, this is second. It is fourth one. Okay. In the fourth shloka of Bhagavan says, when a person rises above the body consciousness, there is a serenity of experience. The experience when when you come out of the body consciousness, it is absolute, serene, tranquil composure of experience. Completely composed experience, serene and tranquil experience. All the external toxic matter is removed and then you feel this consciousness. This is samprasada. It's a word called samprasado, ismik charirat, samataya param, param jyotirus upasampadaya. Param jyotirupat sampadaya. That is, this samprasada, the composure of the consciousness which arises on account of freedom of consciousness from body-mind shackles. When it come out of the shackles, like a man come out of the shackles, how he feels, the same way the consciousness, when it comes out of the shackles of the body-mind consciousness, what will be the condition? Absolute serene, peace, tranquil, and got the freedom from the karma world, loka of karma, entanglement of absolute, what is that? Ignorance, the world of ignorance, world of objectivity, world of externalities, world of absolute ignorance. When he releases from those shackles, he gets absolute peace and serenity and tranquility is attained. This will be the feeling. The moment of this consciousness is freed from the body attachment, it rises upwards as it were like a flame of brilliance. It's a supreme luminosity. It's light by its own right. It's always compared with the light, brightness. Because whenever those ignorances are gone, everything, we always have the brightness of the light. When prana, when it goes, you will find a light. Because it's released from the entanglement of the body consciousness. And you will find a light. There is a difference from the vibrational frequencies of the physical world and the spiritual world. That's why this light comes. It's light by its own right. The light that does not require another light to illumine. It's not necessary. Stand, okay, he's dying. Stand at the head which matches. The moment it comes out, light it. It's not necessary. No, illumine it. Param Jyoti. Jyoti. Jyoti is that flame. Jyoti is that light. Param Jyoti is that which is supreme Jyoti, that which is supreme light. When one attains to this supreme luminosity, which is one's own real nature, one is established in oneself. Then it is established. Then one is in one's own true form. That's the true form of you. As we wake up from the dream and recognize our true nature as being different from what we felt ourselves to be in dream, so does one recover one's real nature and shake off the old notions of connections with body, one differing from the other. One state of consciousness imagines that it is an animal, another imagines that it is human, and so on and so forth. So each consciousness, the one you come out, you know that all where you have undergone the experiences where all you have entrapped yourself, the consciousness, everything can be seen. Once it is out of this body consciousness, you are aware. This is what we in a different way we do in past life regression. That how we go and come and all that. This making you conscious of it. We are not going anywhere. No, we are changing the level of consciousness entrapped into this body consciousness. Whenever somebody is conducting that, he conducts to make you conscious, to be away from this consciousness, so that all other consciousness can be seen. That entrapment is wrapped. That's why a relaxation is done and then ask you to go and think like that, so that you are not consciously, you are not in this body. When you are not consciously in this body, all other experiences can be experienced in the body. Is the principle of that regression process. One state of consciousness imagines that it is an animal, another is this, that, all. They may be animals, human beings, or celestials, whatever they are. Even celestials being also is born as human. So in order to do certain things, whatever they are, those forms are cast off on account of consciousness. That's all. Extracting itself from those shackles, and it stands by itself as liberated being. This is Atman. This is Atman. This is Atman. This is heart. This is Brahman. This is consciousness. This is absolute consciousness. Atman is that which is free from entanglement in any kind of form. So when you are entangled with your form, you call it Jiva Atma. So a specific term has been derived. It's not wrong. Has been derived by the Maharshi. If your consciousness is, if you believe your consciousness is entrapped in the body consciousness and mind consciousness, it is known as Jivatma. Is a Jivatma there? No. It's not there. It is your perception, that's all. It's illusion. Huh? Is it not? This is the immortal. It is disidentification with the body that's the cause of immortality. This is what we call as Brahman. That's what I told you. That is Atman, that is Hridaya, that is heart, that is Brahman. What we call as truth, about which we have been speaking up to this time, is Brahman itself. Satyam is Brahman. Consciousness is Brahman. And Hridaya is Brahman. Jnanam is Brahman. Because they are all beyond the understanding of the body-mind consciousness. So these names have been given only to teach us in different ways this certain walk. That is Brahman. We may call it as Atman or Brahman. It makes no difference. This is the truth, because that alone is that which is in all the three periods of time that knows no distinction of passage of time. That is perpetually what it is without distinction, either in space or in time. That's the Atman. That's what we call as Brahman. Now, slowly he brought us to Brahman, you see. From Hridaya, from consciousness, from truth, from body, from mind, perception. Then he brought us to Atma. Then he brought Jivatma. Then he brought us to Atma. Then he brought us to Brahman. This is Brahman. Yes, beautiful it is. How beautiful. It's called Brahman. Having known the Brahman, rest we will know afterwards is better.